Tonight, we start by taking a look at Aubie's brand new statue and a dance company bringing the Goosh's Dance and Movement series to life. Then we'll inform you about lattes in the library and more exciting events that took place here on Auburn's campus.
We'll also take a look nationally by updating you on the threat to Alabama IVF treatments and the shock across the University of Georgia campus following the murder of a nursing student. Finally, you'll get an Auburn sports update and an entertainment update brought to you by Eagle Eyes of Morgan Sims. All of that and more is coming up next on Eagle Eyes Monday News at 6. Good evening and welcome to Eagle Eye News at 6. I'm Joe Champagne.
And I'm Allison Foran. The Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater's 2024 tour visited Auburn University's Googe Performing Arts Center last week. The show, part of the Googe's 23 to 24 Dance and Movement series, featured 3 acts that celebrate life, resilience, and African American culture. The performance unfolds in 3 captivating acts, each offering a unique journey through dance and music. Century by Amy Hall Garner celebrates joy and spirit inspired by her grandfather's 100th birthday, set to Ray Charles's melodies. Alonzo King's Following the Subtle Current Upstream explores resilience, blending Western and Eastern classical forms with Zakir Hussain, Miguel Frasconi, and Miriam Makeba's compositions. Finally, Alvin Ailey's timeless masterpiece Revelations intertwines African American music with themes of grief and joy, drawing from Ailey's Texas upbringing, and remains a revered symbol of resilience in the face of adversity. Alvin Ailey was a pioneering figure in modern dance. He directed one of the earliest integrated dance companies, and his choreography focused on the richness of African American cultural experience. In 1958, he established the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater with a mission to enhance American modern dance and uphold the uniqueness of African American culture.
Right after winning his 11th Universal Cheerleaders Association National Championship, Aubie, our beloved mascot here on campus, had his statue revealed right in front of the Harold D. Melton Student Center. The 6'2" bronze sculpture is a symbol of Aubie's leadership and dedication to the spirit of Auburn. Eagle Eyes TV's Ava Marchese reports.
The Auburn community is gathered alongside of faculty to unveil the long-awaited tribute to Aubie the Tiger. Let's take a look.
From Camp War Eagle to graduation, Aubie is part of the most special moments in an Auburn student's life.
Standing at 74 inches tall, this impressive sculpture was designed by the Oregon-based artist Allison Brown Caswell. Auburn University President Christopher B. Roberts, Bobby Woodward, Margaret Arnold, Jake Haston, and Logan McKenna were all present for the event.
This project is the reality of 2 very special people, Dr. Christopher Roberts and our former SGA president, Jake Haston. Jake, go ahead.
Many would say Aubie is Auburn. After nearly a decade, the idea of adding an Aubie sculpture to the heart of campus was revisited after he secured his 10th UCA National Championship in 2021.
Aubie, we're really thankful you're here today. You are the Auburn spirit personified. You are what makes Auburn family and makes every day a great day to be an Auburn Tiger. So thank you.
Both the Aubie program and Student Affairs worked together to bring this idea to life following Haston's election as SGA president for the 2022-2023 calendar year. This has been Ava Marchese, Eagle Eye TV.
Thank you, Ava. When we come back, we'll provide more updates of on-campus happenings from this past week. You're watching Eagle Eye News at 6.
The University Program Council hosted a caffeine-fueled event called Lattes in the Library. The event, hosted at the Ralph Brown Drawn Library, provided students with free coffee from Mama Mocha's. In a buffet-style line, students were also offered free Krispy Kreme donuts to go along with their coffee. The event was a success and provided fuel for students working hard at RBD as they prepare for midterms this week.
Cater Talks events are an opportunity for honors students to connect with Auburn leadership and special guests in an informal and personable way. Cater Talks welcome Dr. Elijah Gaddis in celebration of Black History Month. His Cater Talk was named Pool Halls and Protests Doing Local African American History. Elijah Gaddis is the Holyfield Associate Professor of Southern History, the co-director of Public History, and an affiliate faculty of Africana Studies at Auburn University. The Honors College at Auburn University is designed to provide qualified students a means to experience, explore, engage, and elevate their academic dreams through the diverse opportunities found at a research university like Auburn University. The Honors College hosts Cater Talks, and students can check out the Honors College page on AU Involve for upcoming events at Cater Hall.
So it's really thinking about how we can go out into communities and help them tell their stories, right? In this case, thinking about, we take scanning equipment, or audio recorders, things like that, and ask people to just talk to us and share with us some of the information from their communities. So sometimes it's stories that they have about growing up in Auburn, for instance, in the 50s. Sometimes it's old yearbooks or scrapbooks or things like that they have and want to scan. And it's really just about getting this bigger kind of history and adding more things to the historical record.
This weekend, Auburn Outdoors called climbers from around the Southeast to compete in a rock climbing competition. Eagle Eye's Mackenzie Deutschman has more.
Students are reaching for the stars today here at the Auburn Recreation and Wellness Center as the Auburn University Climbing Club will compete against other universities in this year's Auburn Ascent competition. Let's take a look. Although Auburn Ascent is supposed to be an annual event, this is the first year back since COVID-19. The event this year hosted students from schools such as Georgia Southern, Jacksonville State, and had more than 110 total students registered. The Assistant Director for Auburn Outdoors, Kelly Berkman, explains how the competition works.
Sure, the cool thing about it is it's actually an individual competition. So we have schools from all over the Southeast competing, but they're competing individually and really encouraging each other to do so. We actually have numbers on the wall. We have 32 routes and 32 problems. Number 1 being the easiest and number 32 being the hardest. And so when you complete that climb, you're going to get the points for that route towards your total score.
However, it was not just the climbers putting in the hard work. The Auburn Outdoors team also had a lot of work cut out for themselves in preparation for this event.
So what you're looking at is over 200 hours of student work. They had to take every mold off the wall, clean them, and then put them back up in a really kind of like graceful and beautiful way to make sure it was competitive for both beginner, intermediate, and advanced climbers.
And with all of that preparation, Auburn Ascent was back in business. We asked a few climbers what their favorite part about the event was.
Right now, just seeing all my friends come in to have a great time. I'm meeting a lot of new people as well. It's just a community where you get to come and have fun. Even if you don't win, you're still having a great time. So.
This is Mackenzie Deutschman for Eagle Eye TV.
Thank you, Mackenzie. Looking to show off your Mario Kart skills? Well, Auburn's UPC gave students the perfect opportunity with a Mario Kart tournament in the Student Center game room last Friday. Eagle Eye reporter Bowman Ivester gave us an inside look at this event.
The Auburn University Program Council has asked students to rev their engines and put their racing skills to the test in an action-packed Mario Kart tournament hosted right here at the Melton Student Center game room.
This past Friday, the Auburn UPC Video Game Council hosted a Mario Kart tournament in the Melton Student Center game room. Students in attendance were provided with free food and drinks and an action-packed night. Brent Jordan, the Auburn Esports Content Manager and MSC Event Operations, worked with UPC to host the event and even got in on the action himself.
There it is! All right, we take those. Obviously, well, we're putting on a Mario Kart tournament right now. This is honestly something that has been a long time coming for a while. We've done beta versions of this tournament in the past. We did a version in the fall. Got overwhelmed with the sheer number of people who just wanted to play. We did another version of it in Pearlville. I don't know if you guys saw that. We had the Mario Kart tournament on the Jumbotron. That was with esports, and UPC decided to take a little bit of their format, a little bit of our format, and kind of combine the two to create basically what I've got going on behind me.
We talked to Avery Piles from the UPC Video Game Committee to find out what it's like to host events like these.
It's really fun. So, like, as part of the UPC Video Games Committee, we all come up in a room and we're like, okay, so how can we make a fun event for all the students to get involved in? So we brainstorm ideas and we come up with ideas like this, the Mario Kart tournament, the Smash tournament. We also do just regular events, just like hangouts, co-op game night, stuff like that. And we just decide what do we think would be the most fun for students to get involved in.
By the end of the night, a champion had to be crowned. We talked to tournament winner Matthew Pimmel about his victory.
Feels pretty good, pretty excited, a lot of adrenaline's going. Wasn't exactly sure if I was going to win. Got this Lego set of a piranha plant here and this little plush of a light blue Yoshi.
From Eagle Eye TV, I'm reporter Bowman Ivester.
Thank you, Bowman. When we come back, we'll update you nationally on a threat to IVF in Alabama, along with updates in mourning and tragedy that took place at UGA. You're watching Eagle Eye TV, Auburn's news leader.
The fallout from an Alabama Supreme Court ruling that frozen embryos are children and those who destroy them can be held liable for wrongful death continues. Friday, the state's attorney general said he has no intention of prosecuting IVF families or providers. However, many doctors and people who hope to become parents through IVF have questions and concerns. Jen Sullivan takes a look at the impact the court's ruling is having on the state and what lawmakers are now doing to protect IVF treatment.
In Alabama, 3 of the state's 5 fertility clinics have halted or will halt certain in vitro fertilization treatments over concerns their personnel could be at risk. This comes a week after a controversial decision by the state Supreme Court. The court ruling that frozen embryos are children and those who destroy them can be held liable for wrongful death. The decision leaving families undergoing fertility treatment scrambling for answers.
To now be told that there are even fewer options available is heartbreaking.
Rebecca Matthews is the mother to 2 children born through IVF.
I started to really worry about what our options were with our remaining frozen embryo going forward.
IVF is when an egg is removed from a woman's body and combined with sperm inside a laboratory before being implanted. It's a multi-stage treatment that can cost thousands of dollars. Some fertility doctors in Alabama say the court's ruling hurts patients.
This ruling makes it impossible for me to offer IVF. This means that my patients won't be able to access the best fertility care.
Alabama lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are working to immediately pass legislation to protect IVF.
As lawmakers, we focus on solving the problem immediately, so that family has an appointment on March 11th will be able to go through with this process.
House Democrats introduced a bill that would establish fertilized human eggs stored outside a uterus aren't considered human beings under state law. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
Police at the University of Georgia are calling the murder of a nursing student on its campus a crime of opportunity. And even though the university's police chief notes that it's the first homicide at the school in almost 30 years, it leaves many on campus and in the surrounding community on edge, even with a suspect in custody. Laura Geary has more on that arrest and details pushing this case into the national immigration debate.
Classes resumed on the campus of the University of Georgia in Athens Monday, but many minds are still on what happened last week.
Even though they do have that person in custody, it's still, I just want to be more safe.
That person is 26-year-old Jose Antonio Ibarra, charged with felony murder and other crimes related to the death of Augusta University nursing student Laken Hope Riley. Police say they found Riley's body near a lake on the UGA campus last Thursday after a friend reported her missing when she didn't return from a morning run. UGA's police chief says Riley died from blunt force trauma. The savage attack made even more unsettling by the peaceful setting in which it happened.
People bring their dogs and their friends, so it's definitely not somewhere that I ever thought was unsafe.
Ibarra's arrest is now the latest flashpoint in the federal immigration debate.
Immigration and Customs Enforcement confirmed that her killer was in the country illegally.
According to ICE, Ibarra was arrested in Texas after entering the U.S. illegally in 2022, but was then released on parole pending further processing. A year later, he was arrested again in New York City on a charge related to injuring a child under 17 and a driver's license violation. But ICE says NYPD released him before a detainer could be issued. As the investigation into Ibarra continues, Riley's sorority focused on hosting a vigil Monday afternoon to remember their 22-year-old classmate and a life taken too soon. I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
When we return, Eagle Eye's Cohen Dalzell will give you an Auburn sports update, followed by an entertainment update with Morgan Sims. Stay tuned for more.
Welcome back to Eagle Eye News at 6. I'm Cohen Dalzell to give you your weekly dose of sports on the Plains. I have a lot of events to cover, so I'm just going to get right to it. Let's start out on the court. After a week of rest, Auburn's men's basketball team continued their campaign for a share of the SEC regular season crown this weekend in Athens, Georgia. The Tigers were without star forward Jalen Williams due to a knee injury suffered in the loss versus Kentucky last Saturday. It was no problem for Auburn, who dispatched the Georgia Bulldogs 91-76 in the Auburn's 21st win, double-digit win of the season. Chad Baker-Mazara and Chaney Johnson got the starts on Saturday for Chris Moore and the injured Jalen Williams. These two proved to be a force for Auburn's offense against Georgia, with Baker-Mazara putting in 25 and Johnson scoring 16. Janai Broom added 16 as well, and Aiden Holloway got back on track, netting 5 threes for 15 points of his own. The Tigers shot 62% from the field after an abysmal 31% against Kentucky and earned their largest win in Athens since 1977. The Tigers stay on the road for a massive matchup in Knoxville this Wednesday as they take on 4th-ranked Tennessee on Wednesday at 6 p.m. Auburn returns to the Jungle and Neville Arena this Saturday at 3 p.m. to play Mississippi State. The Auburn women's basketball team continued the final stretch of SEC play as well. They started off the weekend in Baton Rouge against an LSU team that they upset in Neville Arena just over a month ago. The Tigers put in a good effort, but fell to LSU 71-66. They capped off the weekend on a high note, however, defeating Texas A&M yesterday 57-41 in Neville Arena. Honesty Scott Grayson put in a ridiculous 28 points in Baton Rouge, and Jemiah Mingo Young added 16. However, it wasn't enough to beat the 13th-ranked LSU Tigers, and the comeback fell just short. The Tigers dominated the Aggies in their return home, however, with their defense forcing Texas A&M to shoot just 33% from the field. Taylon Collins and Jemiah Mingo Young both had 10 to lead the Tigers in the victory. Auburn continues the short 2-game homestand this Thursday when they face Mississippi State. It's senior night for Taylon Collins and Carson McFadden, with the game tipping off at 7 p.m. at Neville Arena. The Tigers finish off the regular season in Gainesville this Sunday as they face the Florida Gators. Tip is at 11 a.m. on SEC Network. On to the Diamond now. Auburn baseball traveled to Jacksonville, Florida for the Jacks College Baseball Classic. The Tigers continued their winning ways, taking down number 18 Iowa 7-5 and clobbering Wichita State 19-8. The most important matchup for Auburn took place against undefeated and 10th-ranked Virginia yesterday afternoon. The Cavaliers proved to be too much for the Tigers, and Auburn's 6-game winning streak came to an end in the 6-4 loss. Auburn and Virginia went back and forth in the first couple innings before Virginia plated runs in 4 straight innings to take a 6-3 lead in the top of the 8th inning. Derek Fabian went deep to left center to make it 6-4 in the bottom half of the inning and gave the Tigers some hope. After shutting down the Cavalier offense in the top of the 9th, the Tigers couldn't rally in the bottom. After falling to 6-1 on the season, Auburn comes back to Plainsman Park this weekend, playing Samford tomorrow at 6 p.m. This weekend, they host the UConn Huskies for a 3-game weekend series at Plainsman Park. That's all I've got for sports tonight. Tune in tomorrow at 7 p.m. for Sports Night in Auburn here on Eagle Eye TV for some more sports coverage. I'm Cohen Dalzell for Eagle Eye Sports, and you are watching Eagle Eye News at 6. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Eagle Eye News at 6.
I'm Morgan Sims here with your entertainment update. We all know and love Auburn's very own Charles Barkley, and it turns out he has some pretty amazing friends. Shaquille O'Neal, another basketball legend, brought updates for a Missouri teen who was struggling to find shoes that fit him. He wears a size 23 shoe. Those can only be custom made, which can cost more than $1,000. A GoFundMe created by Mom raised thousands, and that's when Shaq stepped in to help.
A Cinderella moment. Kansas City.
Did I keep it below my waist?
We first introduced you to Jarrell Bolden a few weeks ago. He's 16 and wears a whopping size 23 shoe. The problem is, they don't sell 23 in the stores, and it cost a lot to have those made. Jarrell was walking around barefoot until today. The community came through. First KC, then the world. Donations were pouring in. More than $11,000 have been raised in total.
I didn't have no control over his feet growing like this, but just as a parent, not being able to do something that your kid needs, it's like it do something to you. So just to have people reach out and pull through for us, it was amazing.
And then the calls came in.
Entertainment Tonight, they messaged me, and she was like, someone special wants to talk to you.
That someone special was one of the greatest basketball players of all time.
Cinder's name.
Shaq O'Neal.
That's what it says.
Shaq, a man who has heard his fair share of Bigfoot jokes. He gave Jarrell a call on FaceTime. Jarrell was so surprised, he wasn't prepared to answer that call.
He didn't have his shirt on. I said, I'm sorry you ain't got a shirt on. He said, what's up, big sexy?
Less than a week later, 3 boxes arrived at their house. Jarrell pulled out shirt.
I know you like that.
Yeah. After shirt after shirt. Some of the clothes straight from Shaq's own closet.
Uh-oh, it say Shaq.
But let's not forget the reason we are here. The shoes. Shaq sent about 20 pair.
I'm gonna wear these a lot.
So for some perspective on just how big these shoes are, this is my shoe. This is Jarrell's new shoe.
The problem now, Shaq is a size 22. Jarrell is a 23 and growing.
They can help for now, but he still needs a bigger size shoe, and that's what this money is going to go for.
Thank you for taking the time and the money that you have earned to give it to me when I needed it. So I would like to thank you for all the things that will come from it and that have.
Auburn students know all too well the struggles we face daily in pursuit of the final reward, our college degree. One St. Louis man is proving that you are never too old to achieve this dream. He graduated from Harris Stowe State University at the age of 74, making him the university's oldest graduate. It was also a dream that was 50 years in the making. Melanie Johnson has more on the man willing to do anything to make his dreams come true, and how he says he still has more to do.
A journey that dates back to 1973 when David Morris stepped onto a college campus for the first time after being drafted to the military.
Nothing worth having comes easy.
It took 50 years for him to live out the dream that was delayed but not denied.
If you tell somebody your dreams, and if they're not laughing and shaking their head at you, you're not dreaming big enough.
At 74 years old.
And I walked across this stage, and it seemed like everybody was just genuinely happy for me.
Morris finally taking the walk that took decades to happen and graduated with a bachelor's degree.
Mr. Morris, please stand.
His daughter cheering him on. He was the oldest in his fall 2023 graduating class at Harris Stowe State University.
For your children, what do you want them to know in this life?
I want them to know that they can achieve anything they want to achieve.
The road to crossing the stage came with setbacks.
I had a stroke in 2007.
And back-to-back losses that stood in the way of living out his dreams sooner.
My brothers and sisters, there's 3 of us left. They all died from colon cancer. I had a daughter that was 19. God, hell of a basketball player. lost her in a car accident in 2000. My wife lived 2 years and 8 months after being diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer.
He's somebody who's like, you know what, this is not a dream deferred. This is something that I'm going to do.
Karen Zamarco was his student success coach as Morris only needed one class to make it to the finish line. Spanish.
Buenos dias. Oh, bien, y tú? I knew that it was going to be something special when Mr. Morris told me his student ID number and it was only 3 digits long.
With a degree in general studies with an emphasis on history,
I'm still not done.
The now 75-year-old has an even bigger dream.
His willingness to say, you know what, you're never too old and it's never too late.
So what's next for you?
Law school. Law school. I'm going to law school.
A history maker with a message: when life gets tough,
just don't give up, you know.
It gets better.
Thank you, Morgan. Well, we're out of time, but for more Auburn news, head over to our website, eagleeyeauburn.com, and check out our social media pages. I'm Joe Champagne.
And I'm Allison Foran. Thank you for watching, and War Eagle.